By 1972, progressive rock had fully emerged as a distinct musical style. However, referring to it as a self-conscious movement at the time may be misleading. As drummer Bill Bruford noted, there was no sense of alliance or cooperation in a musical movement between the chief players. King Crimson played a crucial role in shaping progressive rock. Founded by former members of Giles Giles and Fripp, alongside Greg Lake, Ian MacDonald, and Peter Sinfield, the band released its debut album, In the Court of the Crimson King, in October 1969. Their performance at Hyde Park on July 5th of that year established their reputation as a serious, precise, and versatile group. This was largely due to the virtuosity of its members. Robert Fripp's rigorous musicianship, MacDonald's diverse instrumentation, Lake's distinctive vocals, and Sinfield's dual role as lyricist and lighting designer. In the Court of the Crimson King had a profound impact on the nascent progressive rock scene, arguably making it the most influential album of the genre. Unlike the early works of Yes, Genesis, Vandergraaf Generator, and Jethro Tull, which had yet to fully develop their musical vision, King Crimson's debut displayed all the major elements of mature progressive rock. While there were clear influences from proto-progressive bands such as the Moody Blues, Procol Harum, and Pink Floyd, King Crimson crystallized these elements into a unique and instantly recognizable style. The album combined melancholic, minor-key passages, featuring acoustic guitar and mellotron symphonic textures on tracks like Epitaph, with polyrhythmic, jazz-tinged compositions, such as 21st Century Schizoid Man, dominated by saxophone and fuzzed guitar. These stylistic contrasts became defining characteristics of progressive rock throughout the 1970s. The album also exerted an extra musical influence, with its apocalyptic themes in Epitaph and 21st Century Schizoid Man, and its medieval imagery and mysticism in the title track, inspiring many later progressive bands. The surreal, gothic cover art also became an iconic visual reference within the genre. Although King Crimson quickly moved towards a more music-focused style, In the Court of the Crimson King paved the way for later progressive rock's Gesamtkunstwerke such as Close to the Edge by Yes, Tarkus by Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Firth of Fifth by Genesis, and Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd. The release of the Mellotron M2 in 1969, which was lighter and more durable than its predecessor, further popularized its use in progressive rock. King Crimson prominently featured the Mellotron on most tracks of their debut, particularly Epitaph and the title track. The album also showcased the instrumental virtuosity of its members. Robert Fripp was probably the first rock guitarist to place equal emphasis on mastering the electric and acoustic instrument, and also established a precedent by drawing not only on rock, but also on classical and jazz guitar techniques. Ian MacDonald's multi-instrumental contributions, Greg Lake's dynamic vocals and bass work, and Michael Giles' jazz-influenced drumming. 21st Century Schizoid Man includes an improvised 6-beat jazz swing section before returning to its apocalyptic lyrical themes, with Lake's vocals heavily processed for distortion. The close relationship between text and music is a hallmark of the album, evident in its dark harmonies, heavy use of tritones, and lyrical content concerning war and destruction. The integration of text and music is particularly striking in the Court of the Crimson King, where the tremolo of the synthesizer coincides with the phrase, "gently pulls the strings." While Moonchild features whimsical, contemplative lyrics typical of the late 1960s hippie movement, the album's other tracks convey a sense of impending doom, reflecting contemporary political anxieties such as the Cold War and nuclear threats. Lyrics describing sunlight shining on instruments of death and silence, drowning opposition echo post-World War I sentiments of finality and resignation. Other passages predict the end of humanity, invoking dark imagery, such as the Black Queen summoning the Fire Witch to the Court of the Crimson King. Album's influence extended beyond its own era, inspiring numerous progressive rock bands, including Tool, whom King Crimson supported on a U.S. tour in 2002. Tool's frontman Maynard James Keenan expressed deep respect for the pioneering band. The trend of visual presentation in progressive rock was also evident in King Crimson's early years. Lyricist Peter Sinfield contributed not only words but also stage lighting effects. The band's debut album cover, with its striking and surreal imagery, became a fundamental part of its identity and a landmark in progressive rock aesthetics. The impact of In the Court of the Crimson King helped define progressive rock, enabling bands like Yes and Genesis to refine their own styles. The symphonic qualities of Epitaph influenced the genre's development, inspiring bands to blend folk-like acoustic guitar with lush keyboard backdrops and intricate vocal harmonies. Progressive rock evolved into a sophisticated and expansive musical form, with King Crimson's debut serving as one of its most crucial foundations.